You are about to enter the Red and Rev Sports Show experience. Get ready for some real sports talk from some real sports fans who were real sports athletes who have sports knowledge.
What's up, everybody? What's up? Welcome to episode 361. And well, we got a lot going on this week. Let's start with Lamar Jackson and the Lions. They lose again. What's going on with the Chiefs and these referees? Ohio State on top of the college world again. With MLB Hall of Fame class announced. Ben Johnson gets up. Aaron Glenn gets noticed. Pete Carroll gets remembered. The Jags will be the Jags. Bobby Slowick, what a difference a year makes. My Braves make a move. Championship game picks. Man, it's a full week of sports and a full show to talk about it. Let's go. Let's go.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Red and Rev Sports Show. Red, Rev, and Coach all coming to you live from the ATL Show. Giving you real sports talk because we are real sports fans, real sports athletes who have what, gentlemen? Real sports knowledge. So hang out with your boys, Red, Rev, and Coach for episode 361 of the Red and Rev Sports Show. And as is our sports custom on this show, we turn our numbers attention to our numerologist, Coach Patrick Thomas, to give us something or someone dealing with those 3 digits, 3, 6, and 1. What do you have for us, Coach?
Well, good morning, everybody. Y'all might not like this one, but it's a conglomeration of a lot of different things. But I'm going to go to a guy. The one that I thought of was too old, so I had to go try to stay in the format. I'm going to the number 61st pick in the draft, not this draft, but a previous draft, who was in the Hall of Fame now. He amassed 3 pick sixes in his career, which gave me the number 361. And I'm talking about from the Philadelphia Eagles, Brian Dawkins, cornerback, 361.
Brian Dawkins, one of the most beloved Philadelphia Eagles in Eagles history. Matter of fact, he hyped up the crowd last week at the Link as the Eagles were able to defeat the Rams last week in the snow game during the playoffs. So Brian Dawkins, I'm sure if Sister Dana Brickers were watching, she would be happy about that selection, Coach. She'd be happy with that selection. All right, gentlemen, I hadn't been on for a couple of weeks, but glad to see you both. And we look forward to doing this episode 361. Haven't seen any comments yet from Revenite Nation, so I don't know if they're on vacation this week or not, but we still want to welcome them, and hopefully they'll come in at some point and join us. If you are watching this show, please feel free to chime in, let us know that you're tuning in, and also please like and share. Like and share this broadcast, like on Facebook, share on Facebook and YouTube. With that being said, let's jump right into it, gentlemen. Y'all know how we do it. We have our normal dope, nope, and cope moments for the show. So, Coach, we'll start with you. What are you doping
on? My dope moment goes to young Madison Keys, who came out of nowhere to win the Australian Open. This is her first time winning, and she upset the number 1 tennis player in the female side in the world. Great 3-set match. I watched part of it. I didn't watch all of it. I should have stayed up, but what a win for Madison Keys, American, winning the Australian Open, one of the majors.
Oh, yeah. All right, Red, what are you doping on?
I'm doping on my Lakers and their beat down of the Celtics Thursday night, I believe. Anyway, it was the Celtics' worst loss of the season. I take great pride in that my Lakers gave the Celtics the worst loss of the season. Celtics, y'all struggling, man. If y'all think y'all just gonna glide back to a repeat, I don't think so. I don't see it coming. You got a lot of competition in the East this year. And honestly, I think teams are figuring y'all out. If they're not making their threes, you push Jason Tater tots around a little bit, they get off their game. If Drew Holiday ain't completely healthy, or if he ain't playing that lockdown defense, who else you gonna depend on? Pritchard, what's tall white Euro dude there? I can't even Porzingis. Please. Jaylen Brown, he a dog, but that's about it. So thank you, Lakers, for continuing to expose the Celtics, and I hope other teams continue to expose the Celtics this year. Good win, Lakers. Let's go, baby.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent.
All righty. I'm a dope on the 3-on-3 Women's League Unrivaled. I had a chance to watch some of it last night on TNT, and it's actually pretty decent. the way they set up the 3-on-3 full court league. They got the WNBA players competing against each other. They have a decent time limit for each of the first 3 quarters, and then they have a score that they target to end the game. So big ups to Unrivaled. Watchable, good competition, and seeing these women ball out, I'm for it. So big ups to the Unrivaled 3-on-3 league. If you haven't checked it out, give it a shot. It's decent basketball.
Oh, yeah.
See Sakai.
Red, what are you noping on?
What am I noping on this? Oh, okay. I'm noping on one, Dan Campbell. Look, Danny boy. Now, if you're gonna be this aggressive dog of a coach all season long, last thing we need to see you doing at the press conference is sniffing up your nose like you about to cry dog on river when your Lions get eliminated. I mean, that style of coaching, I gotta agree with my boy Eric. Dude, you put yourself on the line every game, each week, and it's always a chance that all that gambling and all that aggressiveness might fail. And Dan, you're a coach in the NFL. You gotta prepare. It might be a chance you lose a game. I mean, you can't be the number 1 seed and then, this rough and tough Lions represent all year. And then you come to the press conference. It's like we need to give you a box of tissues up there. Are you okay, Dan? You need us to wipe your nose or something? You had the doggone Lions media scared to ask you a question. Yeah, I don't know if that was like part of your. Maybe that was your idea or something. Maybe you start crying so they won't have to be as tough on you as they wanted to. But Dan, you ain't gonna escape the Lions media. You're not gonna escape us forever, Dan. Okay, you keep coaching like this. You're gonna have to answer these questions. And you're gonna have to answer them like a man. You hear me? A man. Now, so note to Dan Campbell. Come on, man. Man up when you lose like that. You're gonna coach like that. Man up like that at the end.
All right. Ray, you got to remember these are short takes now. I know. I know I haven't been on the show 2 weeks to real year, but
right.
Yeah. Remember these are short takes. I am open on the Baltimore Ravens, in particular Lamar Jackson. You got to pull your team through. Will I say it was all Lamar's fault? Absolutely not. But he had 2 turnovers, and I got to add Mark Andrews in there, fumbling the ball and then coming up short, not catching the ball. Lamar couldn't put it on you any better. So Baltimore Ravens add Derrick Henry, and he still come up. I don't know if this team will ever win a Super Bowl. I don't know if they have the mental makeup to win a Super Bowl. Baltimore Ravens, you got to win that game. Lamar Jackson, it's time for you to accompany your MVPs with some playoff success. So that's my note moment for this week. Coach, what are you noping on?
I'm noping on one. I'm going to use a government name, Kimberly Ann Mulkey, who brought the LSU Tigers in there undefeated and got beaten down. Well, not beaten down, but beaten again by South Carolina. Kim, your girls did everything they could, but they looked a little unorganized. They started fouling a lot. They started playing. They didn't play their best game to be 20-0. And I know South Carolina, but you have not beaten her. It's been a minute. So, Kim, until you beat South Carolina, you're going to always be considered, and also ran. That was a game you had in hand, and you let it get away. But, hey, it's South Carolina and Dawn Staley. So, Kim, you had a beat, but one of these days.
You've got to be kidding.
All right. I'll start with the cope. I'm coping with the fact that all these folk acting like the Chiefs aren't the Chiefs. I know we're going to talk about it later, the refs and all of that stuff, but the defending 2-time Super Bowl champions, 15-1, and that's where we're going to just go with the refs on everything with the Chiefs. Come on now. Let us reason together. And I know a lot of y'all going to struggle, especially the guy who's going by Red Dog this week, once the Chiefs get this three-peat. So y'all can call it the Chiefs and the refs. Y'all can put images with the refs, trading jerseys with the Chiefs and all of that stuff. But can you stand the Chiefs' reign? Not R-A-I-N, R-E-I-G-N. Can you stand the rain? You can't. Deal with it. I'm done.
Okay, Rev. Just gonna make this victory oh so sweet.
So now you the Bills this week, and then when they lose, then you're gonna be whoever comes out the NFC East. I got you. Yep. I got you.
Pretty much. I gotta ride this to the end, baby.
Maybe one of them things you throw on the wall will stick. Maybe one of them. Maybe one of them.
It can't happen on my watch. We cannot see a three-peat.
All right, Coach. What are you coping with?
I'm coping with the Pittsburgh Pirates, who thought they had the card with Paul Skeens, a vintage baseball card. Thought the young lad that had it was going to give it back. They offered him everything but the moon. And he said, nah, that's okay. I'm going to take it to auction and make me some money. They thought they offered him a box seats and all that. And they thought they were going to get it. Even had Paul Skeen's girlfriend jump in and say she'll offer something. But the young man and his daddy said, no, that's okay. We can't get this to y'all. We're going to take it to auction. And we're going to make us some serious cash with this one. So, Pirates, you got to cope with not getting the rookies the year's card back. And it's okay. You got everything else. But he just pulled his offer back and said, no, I'm not giving it up. I'll take it and give me a couple meal from it.
Can't blame him. All right, Red, finish this segment out. What are you coping with?
I know Paul Skeens probably coping with what exactly was his girlfriend gonna offer, but that's another story. But anyway, I'm coping with the rest of the NFL is probably gonna have to cope with these Cowboy fans going forward, because I don't know how y'all playing to sell to us that Jerry Jones or anything about the Dallas Cowboys or anything about winning.
Hold on, Red. Red, we having technical difficulties with you, man.
For real?
Yeah, go again. You sound like a robot. Try it again. Go.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Anyway, like I said, we all got to cope with the Cowboys fans pretending to us like they trying to win when we all know what's going on with Jerry these days. You guys aren't trying to win, and you ain't gonna win anything anytime soon. Brian Schottenheimer, you might as well hire some boring librarian to coach this team, because that's all it's gonna be. Brian Schottenheimer is just like his dad, conservative, and that's what the Cowboys are gonna be from here on out, conservative. And it ain't gonna, Jerry, you're not gonna like it, but it's your own decisions, buddy. Good Lord, Cowboys fans, good luck, because you got to cope with all these decisions Jerry and his old age just seem to be making these days.
No doubt about it. All right, man. Let's again, we'll welcome Revenite Nation. We already did that earlier, and we see that they have awakened and they are sharing. So we go to Revenite Nation's Dope Note and Cope. Let's see what they're talking about on today. The VP is finally in the building. He slammed down the gavel. All right. Appreciate you, sir. What's up, Joe Black? Dante's in the building. Good morning. The VP is doping on the crowd in Columbia, South Carolina, showing up on Friday. 5 rescheduled game from Thursday to be ruckus towards The Lady LSU Tigers, both teams showed you the class of the SEC. Great win. Gamecock Joe Black, doping on Trent Baalke, is leaving Jacksonville. So I know that they believe better days are coming with a better GM. Vincent Woodruff, the vice president, says in defense of Dan Campbell, read, those Lions haven't been in that situation in a long time. That's where the tears were coming from. Also, golf and that defense let them down. Rookie came in there and lit their behinds up. The VPO said, I agree with your note, Reverend Doctor. The two most consistent Ravens over the last 3 to 4 years let the team down when it counted. Lamar has a huge gorilla, not monkey, but gorilla on his back. Josh Allen will continue to stand in his way until he overcomes. Good morning, Mr. President, and I appreciate your apology for the late check-in. Was busy making Indian teepees out of elephant skins. Good morning, Sister Harris. Glad to have you. The president's doping on Ichiro, making the Baseball Hall of Fame, and we'll address that a little later. The VP noping and coping on the 49ers, rehiring Robert Saleh. Defense was smidgen of the problem. Kyle, you know how I feel about you. Brock is just Brocking. He was Mr. Irrelevant for a reason. If you're a bona fide NFL QB, then you pull off these games with or without weapons. Kyle Shanahan has turned me into, quote unquote, emotionless 49ers fan. My. The president says, note the one writer that didn't vote for Ichiro, preventing a unanimous vote. Mr. President loving some Ichiro. Sister Harris is doping on Barkley's Eagles on the brink of another Super Bowl. Wow, she said Barkley's Eagles. Not Jalen Hurts Eagles, but Barkley's Eagles.
Well, yeah, you got that right, Miss Harris.
The president's doping the Rev with musical R&B musings. The Wheat Street Youth and College Choir has just entered the chat. What's going on, Brother Wallace Smith? Glad to have you. The VP is coping on Dan Snyder, reportedly mean mugging the success of the Cobra Commanders. Bruh, a new ownership group came in and they're showing the Chocolate City what real ownership looks like. Amen to that. They have a generational QB in their stable, and I look forward to the Commanders being a force to reckon with for the years to come. Yo, Joe, the president's noping says, my grandmother always said, never take a poop where you lay your head. Jimmy Butler of the Miami Heat, bruh, my Lord. The VP said, prayers, I need to bring over the beaver for I'm over this cold weather. Joe Black says he's noping. Falcons make the most uninspiring DC hire. Wow. The president says, dope. I'm originally from DC. Nice to see the Cobra Commanders making a run. Snyder's across the pond, jumping off a bridge. Jerry Jones, please take note. And I said that this week. Cowboys, as Jesus said, go and do likewise. Get an ownership change so it'll help you out. But we know that's not going to come until Jerry, and I'll leave it right there. The VP said, prayers, Jimmy Butler, Skip Bayless, and Joy Taylor just in the chat. Joe Black says, coping up with Dallas moves are making me have sympathy for Cowboys fans. Wow. All right, gentlemen, we thank Reverend Nation for blessing us. Let's go into what happened on tonight. The Ohio State Buckeyes, they spent their money wisely. They won the national championship over Notre Dame pretty handedly at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium here in Atlanta. Coach, we'll start with you. What were your thoughts in regards to the college championship game?
Well, it's simple. I don't have to go into a long diatribe about it. $20 million will get you a good football team. Simple as that. They paid that money. They got those big old, like the great Buck Belue used to say, road graders in there. And they just pushed Notre Dame around for the first few quarters. I mean, just moved them out of the way, like, excuse me. Notre Dame made the little run at the end, but in the stick of things, Ohio State was just too physical for Notre Dame. Simple as that.
Red, your thoughts?
Yeah, I pretty much got to agree with Coach. I mean, I thought Notre Dame would bring a little bit more physicality to the game when they beat the Bulldogs. But, I mean, you got Ohio State rushing for over 200 yards on them. I guess that physicality went right on up out the window. Notre Dame, your running game was non-existent as well. So it really just came down to who's going to make more plays in the passing game. And Will Howard definitely outplayed the Riley kid. That's pretty much what came down. Ohio State made more big plays than Notre Dame did, and Ohio State defense played a little bit better than Notre Dame did. So, I mean, like Coach said, it was just really a simple beatdown. It really came down to it. I don't want to try not to put the money thing, the NIL thing involved in this, but man, maybe Ohio State did have a little bit more money than Notre Dame because Notre Dame just didn't look like they matched up at all. I mean, they tried to play with them, but in the end, Ohio State was just dominant over this team, man. So, like I say, if you're gonna play like that, you should let my Bulldogs win.
All right, the VP said the Irish threw their best punch on that first drive. Then talent kicked in. Buckeyes basically out-talented the meager Irish. Marcus Freeman still has a GPA standard that he has to deal with. Great run, Irish. Buckeyes showed they were the class of the CF playoffs, period. And I would agree with that assessment. Let me ask you two follow-up questions. So with Ohio State winning this particular championship, is the coach for Ohio State off the hot seat, or does he have a year to get with losing to Michigan? If he so loses to Michigan for the fifth year, is he off the hot seat? Does he, with this championship, does he get at least 2 more years or 3 more years of grace? What do you think?
I don't know about 3 more years, but he's off the hot seat next year, because you know what I'm saying. But purposely, I don't think you want to go 0-5 to Michigan. But if he did lose to him next year, I don't think he'd be fired because, like you say, he just won national championship, so it really look bad. He fired the coach a year later, all because of one game. Now, 2-3 years later, well, I guess right, yeah, maybe we'll get 2 or 3 more years. But if he keep losing to Michigan, the seat is gonna warm back up real quickly, especially if he not win the championship. So, best thing for Ryan Day is to try to back-to-back this thing, especially if you're going to keep losing to Michigan, because that's the only thing that's going to save you in the end with losing to Michigan is winning the championship that very season. So if you go to the next season and you lose to Michigan and don't come out the playoffs victorious, then that following season, yeah, that seat going to start warming back up. And if you lose to Michigan again and don't win the championship again, come that following season, it's going to be back burning up. So, yeah. So he would have to win the championship that the same season he loses to Michigan to cool his seat down like he did just now.
Joe Black said the title definitely gives him at least 2 years. Coach, your thought?
At least.
Yeah.
Like I said, at least, because, like I say, he'll still be on the hot seat that second year, but at least he'll have 2 years.
All right, Coach, jump in there.
Everybody loves him now. He's a like they said,
Hold on, Coach. We can't really understand what you're saying. Try it again.
He the belle of the ball right now. Everybody loves him. But as soon as you get out there against Michigan and everybody say you're supposed to beat Michigan by 20 points and you lose again, then that somebody gonna light a match and they're gonna start that fire again. It might not be a smoldering fire, but they're gonna start it up again. Like, hey man, you still can't beat Michigan? You know, what's the problem? So we'll see what happens.
All right, the VP said Ryan Day should be off the hot seat for at least 200 some odd days until he loses to Michigan again. Shows you Buckeye fans are ridiculous. What's important to school? Beating their rivals or winning the Natty, which brings in tons of money. Make it make sense. Ungrateful busters laugh out loud. That rivalry is arguably the most intense rivalry in college sports. I can't think of another rivalry off the top of my head besides Auburn, Alabama, that rivals Michigan, Ohio State. So it means a whole lot. And to keep losing to Michigan year after year after year, that's problematic. So we'll see what happens. I have another question on college football. So as Coach alluded to, Ohio State paid big money. Is that good for college football? For a team to basically be like a baseball team, i.e. the Los Angeles Dodgers, to have that much money, much more money paid than other teams across the board to offset competitive balance? What says you first, Coach, and then we'll go to Red.
I think it sets a very bad precedent as far as what you're going to have colleges doing. People that got more money are going to be able to get who they want, but also it sets a bad precedent for the coaches, because if those people you asking them to fork over more money to get better players and you don't win, now they're looking at the coach like, okay, coach, we spent the money to get what you wanted, and you're not winning. What are you doing? Yeah. What's really going on? So it's not good. I don't think it's going to be good for the sport overall.
Okay, Red, jump in there.
I gotta agree with Coach long term. Going forward, like I said, it worked for Ohio State this year. But what are we gonna say when one team spends the most money and don't win? You know what I'm saying? It's getting to the point. Is this a sport or a bordello? Because you turning these players into a bunch of prostitutes, man. I mean, that's pretty much all we doing out here. How much money am I getting? Go over there and charm that coach. Go over there and charm this school. What is my pay? What am I getting? You see, it's driving some of the great coaches out the game. You see Nick Saban retired, and I'm pretty sure a few more coaches might follow him if they feel like that's all they're walking into these players' houses and recruiting, and all they asking about is pay me, pay me, pay me. What have you done for my team? You haven't won one freaking game for my program, and you talking about pay you. How about you get to my school and have a good season, and then the next season, baby, you talking about pay you to stay, but paying you when you ain't done nothing yet? Man, please. And what are we going to do about, all of these sessions when the kid pick the school? Like, okay, this is the school I'm picking. Well, for how long? 1 year? And then you at another school? So all this big press conference you had was all for nothing. You picking this school, and then next year we see you with another hat on. So save it. You just take away a lot of this. NIL is going to take away a lot of good moments in college football and bring in a lot of bad moments. You know what I'm saying? Because unless you just a Kirby-like guy, I don't think Kirby's spending too much money. But unless you got that type of aura presence, all these players going to be talking about is how much you got.
Let me read some comments real quick. Jerome K said Ohio State paid that good. University of Alabama money. VP said Woody Hayes just entered the chat. He once said that if his bus ran out of gas in the state of Michigan, he would have his players push the bus back on our state line before he pays for gas in the state of Michigan. Yep, there's hatred. The president says, how much input and or influence do alumni groups have? Deep pockets, Red, 400,000, a real plate, and a chinchilla. I'll play for ICBC or DeVry for sure. Listen, Neil basically showed everyone what was going on behind the scenes for decades. Eric Dickerson probably still has the gold Trans Am. Schools need to learn how to stack their paper. Ohio State's money was just not under the table like other schools. But nobody's money is under the table now because you can legally pay them. The difference is that when these kids were probably getting paid illegally, you only paying the top kids, and they show loyalty to the school. It wasn't one of those, I'll take your money this year, then next year I'm going to the highest bidder. Because now, to an earlier point, I think that Red made, Ryan Day is now probably going to have to up the ante just to keep their star wide receiver Smith.
Rev, say that again.
Yeah, he's going to have to up the ante to keep Smith because he was offered $4.5 million by another school.
Oh, see, that's what I'm saying.
Miami.
And why wouldn't you offer him? You see what a difference he made. So, man, I wouldn't mind Georgia. Man, shoot, Georgia, we got $5 million. Because I wouldn't mind taking that kid from Ohio. Now I know what he can do. I'm saying we know what he can do now.
Yeah, Miami put that money out there allegedly to sell, saying, "Hey."
So what we're living in when it comes to college football is what Scripture says. It's not money is the root of all evil. It's the love of money is the root of all evil. And because college football loved money so and didn't want to compensate the players where they could have had some guardrails on all of this stuff before it went out of whack, but because of their love for money and just saying after making all these billions, well, college education should suffice while they're making billions of dollars off kids who are the product, they've allowed this thing to spiral out of control, and now it's going to be hard to put guardrails in place, which is going to continue to corrupt the sport. Because to me, that college championship was not inspiring to watch because I knew Notre Dame at the end of the day really didn't have a chance to win because Ohio State just had too much talent. And if we're going to play college football like this, watch out for Oregon because Phil Knight going to up the ante. He's going to be like, if that's what we're doing, then now it's going to be about who got the biggest funders, not who has the best teams. And that compromises the product on the field. Anybody else want to chime in?
Get to the point now, Real. We're going to have to put a salary cap in general managers in college football now. General managers, capologists, and that's probably what we're going to have to do, put a salary cap. Like, you can only pay, like, a certain amount of players this much. And then what we're going to do, have each conference have a salary cap for each conference now. So, like I say, there's no telling where this thing could possibly go, and all of it don't look good because when you got all this money with these young kids involved, I just don't trust it. Well, we're already mistakes they were making before the money.
We're already moving into this general manager stuff. You remember Adrian Wojnarowski?
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. He left being an inside reporter for ESPN to be the general manager for his alma mater, St. Bonaventure. So you're already starting to put that in place right now. It's crazy. All right, last comments, and then we'll move on. The sponsors and boosters are paying the money. College football is just a business. President says college teams are going to have luxury taxes.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
The VP said, facts, Reverend Dr. Betty Copeland just entered the chat. Remember when her son Jacob Copeland chose Florida over Alabama? Can you imagine the deals that were made and her son didn't live up to his end of the obligation? That's an example of the type of thing that went on behind the scenes. I'm surprised Texas, Oklahoma State, and Oregon haven't gone deep into their coffers. Technically, those three schools shouldn't have any competition as far as money is concerned. And you could probably add Texas A&M into that conversation as well, because there's a lot of money in Texas. That's all for sure. Money. Yeah, that all money for sure. All right, gentlemen, there have been some coaching changes this past week. Just late last night, it was breaking news that Brian Schottenheimer has become the head coach for Dallas Cowboys. Earlier Friday, Pete Carroll, old man Carroll, gets hired by the Raiders. And there have been several other coaching changes as well. I think since the last show, the Atlanta Falcons hired their defensive coordinator, the interim coach for the New York Jets. Ulrich got hired by the Atlanta Falcons. So with these moves that have been made, and you got Aaron Glenn, who's now the New York Jets coach, former defensive coordinator for the Lions, and then you got the offensive coordinator, what's his name again, for the Lions that went to the Chicago Bears? Johnson. Was it Chris Johnson? Ben Johnson, I'm sorry. Yeah, Ben Johnson goes to the Chicago Bears. So let me ask you this way. Which one of those hires was, in your opinion, is the best hire, and which one is the worst hire?
That's easy.
Go ahead.
Jerry Jones must have owed somebody a favor. That's all I can say. He must have owed somebody something, because you putting Schottenheimer in there as a coach. He was an offensive coordinator, but he didn't call any plays. So how is he all of a sudden going to be head coach now? And he's an offensive coordinator and didn't call any plays. Now, as far as the best one, I know everybody's going to run and say Ben Johnson. But, that's to be determined, because Caleb has not shown under Ben Johnson anything yet. So you can put a pin in that and say, wait and see. Aaron Glenn dealing with A-Rod, who's still there, who you don't know what he's going to get. That defense is going to be big. And that dark horse, and that's quiet as kept. I don't care what they said. Pete Carroll may be the oldest man in the NFL, but Pete Carroll can coach a team if he gets him a quarterback. So it's going to be wait and see on the best hire, depending on how the season goes. But I know it's the worst one.
So the worst was the Cowboys. If you had, we already know all of this is speculation, because Brian Schottenheimer can turn out to be the best coach. So it's all speculation, coach.
Yeah.
So who would you say was the best hire? If you had to bet.
I'm gonna go with Johnson anyway, because the Bears were not a bad team. They just needed help getting Caleb Williams. He just needs somebody to help him as a quarterback understand. And Johnson did wonders with golf, so I would go with him barely. Only reason I won't go with Aaron Glenn, because their offense is terrible. It's garbage. So the Bears probably got the best chance out of all of them to be the ones.
All right, best hire, worst hire, head coach.
Well, the best hire, I pretty much agree with Coach as far as Ben Johnson. I'm not sure what Glenn gonna do, because like Coach said, I'm not sure of his quarterback situation. I think he'll keep the defense pretty much balling, but the defense wasn't just a problem last year with the offensive inconsistencies. So if they figure out a way to get the offense on a consistent basis, then Glenn will be okay in New York. And if not, then he'll be the next coach up out of there in a few years. And it won't be because of his defense. It'll be all because he couldn't find the right quarterback. Now, as far as the worst hire, I think I disagree with Coach, and I'm going to go with who I think was just an unbelievable hire, because I honestly thought he was done. And that's Pete Carroll for the Raiders. Man, Mark,
hold on, Ray. Hold your thought. You're breaking up a little bit. You're breaking up.
Oh, okay.
You better now. Go back to
all right.
Worst hire.
Yeah, my worst hire, like I say, I'm going with Pete Carroll for the Raiders, because I thought Pete Carroll was done. I mean, dude, how long you been coaching? You what, almost 80 now? I know you like the oldest coach in the league. I know you older than Bill Belichick. So, man, Oakland, what are you doing? I mean, I understand you want a little stability, but is Pete Carroll the best you do with his old self? If you want to bring him in as a consultant, maybe a front office, guy to help out Tom Brady in the background, I get that. But coaching going forward, man, I don't know. And then you're going to bring in a young quarterback, and he gonna go to the team and be like, Pete Carroll, old buddy, is my coach. What? You think Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward is gonna be excited with old Pete Carroll coming in as the coach? I don't know, man. Like I say, I could be wrong. Pete Carroll could go in there and stabilize team, and coach, you could be right. He could be the best thing that the Raiders have done in the last few years. But right now, I just don't see it. His quarterback situation is up in the air. I'm not pretty sure what he has on defense besides Max Crosby. Pete, if you can turn this thing around, brother, all the glory to you. Because right now, I just don't see it, Pete. But so right now, I got to go with Pete as my worst hire.
Before we go to Revenant Nation, I'm actually going to go with Coach and say, well, no, he went with Ben Johnson. I mean, yeah, Ben. I'm going to go with Pete Carroll as the best hire. And this is why I say that.
That's the best?
Yeah, it's the best. Here's why. Yes, he's older. But out of all the coaches that are available, besides Mike McCarthy, he's a championship coach. He's created championship cultures. He did it on the collegiate level. He did it on the pro level. Is Mike McCarthy a culture builder? No. Is he a good coach? Yes. I mean, you've gone, the Raiders have had 3 coaches in the past 4 seasons. At some point, you got to get some stability. And you go from Gruden, where they thought they were going to get their stability. Then you got McDaniels, didn't make it past a year. Antonio Pierce, only 1 year. So at some point, to develop some type of consistency, you got to get somebody who has consistently done well. Now, some will say Pete may be too old. That's to be determined. But from what's left, unless they were going to get a Bill Belichick, but he's at North Carolina, who do you get that has instant credibility when they walk in the locker room? So that's why I have to go with Pete Carroll, because here's the reality. Johnson has never been a head coach before. So we're only speculating if he'll be a good head coach. Aaron Glenn, never been a head coach before. Brian Schottenheimer, never been a head coach before. So the only proven commodity out of all of them is Pete Carroll. My worst hire, I would say, is Brian Schottenheimer, because that hire just lets you know that Jerry Jones is the coach and the owner. And that means mediocrity will continue to be the order of the day for the Dallas Cowboys. What head coach wants to be sitting down with the owner breaking down film? I mean, you can't expect to get a high-level coach when a coach ain't got time to be sitting there with the owner breaking down X's and O's. He needs to be doing that with his coaches. Then the coach doesn't have much say-so over who gets to be on the roster. So, once again, Jerry Jones got a coach that's going to bow down to him, let him run the show, and we see the Cowboys show should have been canceled a long time because it has not produced any championship results. The only positive, and this could be a question mark, for hiring Brian Schottenheimer is that he already has a relationship with Dak Prescott. But one would say, does that really matter? Because after all, what has Dak Prescott really done to require this kind of loyalty?
And who cares? Who cares who's Dak Prescott's friend in the Cowboys organization? They don't even like Dak Prescott. So why would they care who's close to Dak Prescott?
No doubt about it. Go ahead, Coach.
And Rev, I want to tell all those people, I don't know if there's a lot of them on here last week or around, all those people who thought it was a slam dunk for Deion, be quiet. Deion is back at Colorado. He's going to stay at Colorado for the immediate future. He's not coming to the NFL. All those people say, man, Deion is gone, man. He's going to leave Colorado. Ha, ha, ha. He's not going anywhere.
So that's what the prevailing thought was last week, Coach?
Oh, there's a bunch of people, not just on here, but around, that were just saying Deion is the best hire. He is Stephen A. and all of them whooping up Deion. And I told them, the man said he's not, they don't listen to him. He don't think the players will listen to him because they make more money than he do. So that's not his focus audience. His focus audience is college kids, and he just and that should have been my dope moment, getting the whole team to get a 3.0 average for the semester. Hey, so all that Deion talk going to the pros, Shedeur gonna play for the Cowboys, that's crazy talk, and it was then.
I wish I were on the show last week because I would have refuted all of it. Because here's the thing, and I was sharing this with somebody this past week as I was in Savannah. If Jerry Jones fired Jimmy Johnson because of spotlight issues, and that man won him 2 Super Bowls, and the team that Barry Switzer won was the one that Jimmy Johnson constructed, and he was willing to let go of Jimmy Johnson, what makes someone think he wants to either share the spotlight or give up the spotlight to one Deion Sanders? In what environment is Deion Sanders going to play second fiddle to anybody? It ain't happening. So when you got an egomaniac like Jerry Jones, he is not going to hire one of the most lightning rod figures in sports history being prime time. He knows if he hires prime, people are not going to be running to see what he has to say after the game. They're going to be going to see what prime has to say after the game. So thinking that Deion was going to leave for Dallas, that wasn't going to happen because Jerry Jones wasn't going to allow that to happen because he doesn't want anybody stealing his spotlight. He believes he's the biggest star in the Dallas Cowboys. Go ahead, Red. Close it out.
Real Vincent, Coach, listen up. I don't know if y'all remember this, but this kind of reminds me of all those years ago, back during the whole Batman publicity, and everybody kept wondering, well, whose name's gonna go first? Jack Nicholson or Michael Keaton? Everybody kept saying, Jack Nicholson is playing the Joker. Jack Nicholson is the star of this.
Hold up, Red. You're breaking up again. Hold up.
Oh.
Hold up. All right, try it now.
Am I good now?
Yeah, try it.
Yeah, like I say, it was just the whole, you bring Michael Keaton to play Batman over Jack Nicholson Joker, well, we already know who's going to play second fiddle. So you can call the movie Batman all you want to, but this is Jack's Joker movie. Just like you bring Deion in, it's going to be Deion's Cowboys. I don't care if Jerry is the owner of the team. I don't care if it's the Dallas Cowboys. The star of that team will be Deion Sanders, just like the star of the Colorado Buffaloes is Deion Sanders. I don't know who the Colorado team chairperson is. I don't know who the Colorado's athletic director is. I don't know who the Colorado's basketball coach is. But one thing I do know, I know who their football coach is, and I know who the most important person in that university is, and that is prime time. So whatever team he's on, whatever area he's around, he is the star, and everybody else is Danny Glover. So Jerry, like you say, Reb, is Jerry prepared to be Danny Glover on his own team? I don't think so. So yeah, I don't know why folks thought it was gonna be Deion. Personally, I thought it would be Kellen Moore, but you see Jerry pulled the wool from under us all again and said, nope, it's not gonna even be Kellen Moore. I'm gonna go somebody that's even gonna be more of a puppet. Come here, Brian Schottenheimer. Let me stick my hand right up your butt and just make you start talking like a little puppy. Because that's pretty much what he hired.
Yeah, yeah. All right, the VP says, I'm sure Coach Prime leveraged this situation to get more money and perks from Boulder. He was never going there. I'm sure he did as well. Jerome K says, Rev, you can look at it this way. Being the HC in Dallas is an easy resume win and stepping stone because we all know Jerry is a nutcase. Any HC in Dallas will get the grace and benefit of the doubt. Now, I don't know if I agree with that because every coach that has left Dallas so far, they haven't gotten another job. Jason Garrett, he's a television analyst. Dave Campo, no job. Wade Phillips, no other head coaching job. You know, Mike McCarthy hadn't been hired yet because he would have been the true example of what you just said, because at least Mike McCarthy has a resume prior to the Dallas Cowboys. But it seems like his image might have been tarnished rather than gotten the grace that you just talked about. So I don't know if that's a true statement right there. We'll see if Mike McCarthy gets a job. I think there's the Jacksonville job that's still out there.
No,
Nope.
not.
Nope.
That's Bill.
New Orleans.
New Orleans. Okay, who got hired by Jacksonville?
Tampa Bay's
Yeah.
OC.
D coordinator.
Offensive coordinator. So New Orleans gig is the only one out there.
And I don't
So-
think they going for Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, for sure. All right. What's up, bro, Levi? Mr. Grub, glad to have you. PP says Jerry Jones just continues to prove that his ego is the biggest star in Dallas. He personally tossed Prime's name out there because the Cowgirl-less playoffs had already began and Jones needed some of the spotlight. He was successful at it. Look at our combo over the past couple of weeks. That's a great point. Oh, yeah. There's another one that didn't get another head coach job. Chan Gailey. That's right. BP said former Dallas HCs are unable to rid themselves of the stain that Jerry Jones left on their images. It's a good point. All right, gentlemen. With that being said, that leads us to halftime. And we want to say thank you. Yeah, we had halftime already. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the first half of the Red and Red Sports Show. We got some more sports talk coming your way. We got some baseball talk, some football talk, and we got some picks to make when it comes to the NFL. So we will be right back after halftime. In
Coach,
three,
you want to go eat yet?
no doubt about it. It's halftime. All right, we're back on the Red and Red Sports Show. Coach, I don't know what happened with Coach during halftime, but hopefully he'll be back in just a moment. Jerome K said, just let Jerry coach too. That would be a disaster. The VP said, we made it to halftime and no one mentioned the Falcons. Glory. That's funny. That's funny. All right. I'm going to give Coach a couple more minutes. So Coach went to meet his DoorDash. So Red, we're gonna make the VP a little upset. We're gonna try to buy some time for Coach. Real quickly.
Oh, I thought you mean for the dog got the 49ers.
Oh no. All right. I'm gonna give you a few minutes, 2 minutes to be exact, to wax poetically on your feelings about the Falcons' new defensive coordinator being hired, Jeff Ulbrich. Is he a game changer or is it nothing but the same? All right.
I hope I can keep this in 2 minutes, but here I go. Absolutely nothing but the doggone same. I mean, what did you expect? I keep telling folks, ask yourself this. Who was doing the hiring? If the answer is Raheem, well, then you should have expected a dumb decision. And a dumb decision we got. I mean, dude, you just bringing back all these old coaches. You trying to recreate the 2016 coaching staff again. But guess what, dum-dum? We don't have Kyle and we don't have Dan, okay? Those are two important pieces in that run. Not your dumb butt controlling and running everything. But anyway, Real. And people keep saying, oh, well, look at his defenses the past few years. Oh, he had the Jets top 10. Do we have the Jets personnel? Do we have the Jets players? Do we have the Jets coaching philosophy on this team? Absolutely not. You see what philosophy our defense have in that game against Carolina, the last game of the season. He is coming here with Raheem's philosophy. And Raheem's philosophy I don't trust. So, like I say, we'll see if the players buy into this new system. We'll see if the players improve. But if they don't, you can forget it, because I don't see Jeff Ulbrich bringing anything inspiring or uplifting to the defensive guys that we already got. And this is Raheem's side of the ball, so he's supposed to be mostly in charges anyway. All I can do is hope and pray he don't do anything to mess up the offense and hold my boy Penix back. Because if he does, I'm going to want him out sooner than I already want him out now. And I already want him gone.
Interesting points.
So, no, I don't like the hire. Personally, I would have. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
I think on a micro level, we have to look at what Raheem Morris will do when it comes to coaching or staff hires on the coaching staff, like we look at Jerry Jones on his level as owner. Raheem Morris comes across to me as wanting to be the smartest man in the room. So therefore, he's going to hire accordingly. Anybody who threatens that status will not be one who would be hired by Raheem Morris.
Yeah, and Wink Martindale definitely would have done that.
Yeah, so therefore, that's problematic to me.
Yeah. Because
I don't trust the head coaching genius of Raheem Morris. I don't trust it. So therefore, as the song said, danger. That's all I see when it comes to Atlanta Falcons. Danger. Because Raheem
man.
Morris is the smartest person in the coach's room.
What's that song from Top Gun? The Danger Zone.
The danger zone, yes, the danger zone. No doubt about it. So that's my concern. I'm gonna come right back to you.
Yeah,
Red.
because I want to finish it out.
He giving you that pronunciation key again for Penix. Alexis Hill. So with this hire, will Raheem be gone after next year? And then Horace says, "What's up, fellas? Sorry I'm late." Horace, if you want to come on, let me know. Text me if you want to come on, because we don't know what happened with Coach. We pray he's all right. But go ahead, Red.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's the coaching hire. That's what's gonna happen, man. And yeah, that's what I want to say. All these folks keep complaining, Rev, about the stability of the team. Well, why the Falcons? I'm tired of going through all these coaches, man. What we gonna just chill out and just keep the same coach? Well, let me tell you something. We are gonna keep changing coaches until we get it right. I am sick of y'all crying about this and crying about that, but you want to win a culture, but you keep accepting these mediocre standards. Rev, you remember Casey had to go through a few coaches before they got it right. I remember the time Casey hired Romeo Cornell, the Arizona former OC. What's his name? Todd Hurley. The guy that T.O. got it with on the side. Anquan Bolden got into it with on the sideline. I'm saying teams, you go through as many coaches as you got to go through until you get it right. Okay? I don't care if Falcons hiring a coach every season. Until you get it right, you're going to keep going through them. We don't want no mediocrity. You don't want mediocrity at the coaching level because you never will win. So I'm telling you right here, right now, the Falcons did not get it right with Raheem. And now that we got a quarterback, the best thing to do is to hire an offensive coach going forward. Now, of course, we're going to get Raheem this season, but as soon as he mess it up, and mess it up he will, the next coach we bring in needs to be an offensive guy. Why? Because we now have a quarterback. Yeah, we had Arthur Smith here for 3 years, but we ain't had no quarterback. But now that we got a quarterback, an offensive guy is probably the next way to go. So the next coach should and hopefully will be an offensive guy, and hopefully he'll be here in the next year or two, because I don't see Raheem. I just see him blowing it like he always do.
Yeah. All right. Here's another comment. The VP said the only bright spot for the Falcons here is the New York Jets defense went from number 32 in 2021 to number 4 in 2022. They dropped to number 12 in 2023. They finished number 20 in 2024. Ulbrich might have something here. As long as he can run the defense the way that he wants to, then I say the Falcons may have gotten it right. Let me go ahead. He also says you guys need an extra OC that is Penix compatible and not the other way around. Smart OCs cater their offense to the QB. Jerome K says Deion is going to be the next Falcons head coach. That's fine. All right. Here's the problem with looking at Jeff Ulbrich and evaluating him as the defensive coordinator for the New York Jets. Robert Saleh was the biggest voice in the defensive room. So I would say any success that the Jets experienced defensively, it came under Saleh. Their defense was better at the beginning of the season, but once they fired him, it got worse. So I don't know if I can base any analysis of the Jets defense on Jeff Ulbrich. Just when most of the time he was there, it was Saleh's defense. So I don't know. I don't know how we can assess it. Coach, any thoughts on the defensive coordinator hire for the Atlanta Falcons?
He has to hit the ground running, that's for sure. Because a lot, to whom much is given, much is expected. So he got to come in there and say, hey, Not saying the Falcons are going to score 50, 40 points a game, but you got to score enough with the talent around you to be considered a positive hire. I mean, you got talent from all through there, but what can you do with the talent?
Joe Black said we're not sure what his defense is. So, Red, I'm going to go back to you. And you pay a lot more attention to the Falcons than anyone else. You know the personnel that the Falcons have. What kind of defense would you recommend be brought to the Falcons based on who's already present and their needs on the roster?
Well, it's no doubt that the Falcons missed up big time trying to run a 3-4 defense last season. When you look at the personnel that we've got and that we've acquired through the years, it's obviously that we have acquired personnel to run a 4-3 defense. I mean, come on, fellas. When you see Matthew Judon playing in pass coverage, you already know that the defense we running is pretty much suck or trash and is not putting players in the best position to win. Where's having Matthew Judon in pass coverage telling me we putting our players in the best position to win? I'm sorry. 4-3, that is the personnel we had, and we spent all of those weeks running a 3-4, which probably contributed to Raheem eventually taking over, and that little success that we had when we were getting 3 or 4 sacks every week. I ain't talking about the last week, but before that, when we were getting a few sacks every week, that's probably we went back to a 4-3 hybrid defense. So obviously, Jeff Ulbrich is running a 4-3 defense. So that's the good news. But like I said, we don't have the Jets personnel. So if are the players gonna play better? Are we gonna bring in some more talent on the defensive side? I already know draft-wise we're gonna go offensive-wise, and I am not about to sit here and waste any time in these next coming months, and I'm probably gonna have to reiterate this again because I already know Falcon fans. I'm not just about to spend 1 second. Do you hear me? 1 second going over any defensive players in the draft when I know that moron picking the players ain't gonna draft one defensive player in the first round. He been here 4 years and ain't drafted one defensive player in the first round, and I'm not about to believe that it's gonna start now. And we've been needing defense for years, so don't tell me, oh, Red, well, this is the year we just gotta have a defensive pick. Oh, really? What about last year? What about the year we got Jalen Carter? We didn't need defensive picks those years. So please, save all the nonsense. Don't even try to sell it to me. Until Terry proves it to me, I am looking at offensive tackles in the draft rail. I'm looking at offensive players in the draft rail. I'm not about to believe for a second that Terry is going to do the right thing and take a defensive player in the first round. I'll believe it when I see it.
All right, the VP said that's true, Rev. We're about to find out how good or not so good Ulbrich is once the Falcon seasons move forward. Morris is either going to trip him up or Jeff will prove that he really isn't that good. Joe Black said, I'm more excited about the D-line coach. So to continue this off-the-cuff discussion about the defensive hire of the Atlanta Falcons, we have H.O. from Bankhead and from the Sports Roundtable coming in to the conversation. What's up, H.O.?
What's happening? I want this.
Get on in,
I want
Mark.
this for Coach. I want this for Coach because Caleb Wilson signed with North Carolina. I figured he'd be happy, but I had to wear that for Coach.
All right, that Duke North Carolina rivalry. So, H.O., chime in your thoughts on the hire. Jeff Ulbrich being the defense coordinator. You're a Falcons fan. Good hire, bad hire. Do you think good things are bound to happen for the Falcons? What said you?
First of all, I don't trust anybody who grew up a New Orleans fan, then you hire him to be your GM. I mean, I just don't see how that's even possible. So I don't trust that even going forward for the draft. The hire of the defensive coordinator is, I said I was going to give it a chance, but my initial thought was it was just a familiarity. It's too much groupthink in the leadership organization. Too much groupthink, too much familiarity, as far as I'm concerned. You did all these out of the circle interviews with Wink, with Wilt. I would have interviewed Anthony Lynn for that matter, but I would have probably went with Wilt since he's more familiar with the division, being that he was an interim head coach for Carolina and he knows the division. Actually, I don't even think I think he split with Tampa and New Orleans when he was the coach at Carolina. So that to me would have been the best hire. If you're going to go familiar, let's go familiarity with the teams that you got to play, not familiarity with the people that you've coached with. So I'm okay with it because I have to be. But if things start to go sour, I might jump in that transfer portal myself as a fan transfer portal. I mean, I'm just being honest.
Here's the problem, Big O. Here's the problem, Hope.
Yeah.
And for the record, I like the suggestion you made. But prior to your coming on, I made the statement that Raheem Morris is the type of guy that likes to be the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah.
If he hires Steve Wilkes, he's no longer the smartest man in the room. That's why he couldn't make that hire. Yeah. Because Steve Wilkes has experience being an interim head coach. He has experience being a defensive coordinator and a successful one at that, even though he was dealt a bad hand with the San Francisco 49ers. And you see after he was let go with the 49ers defense hadn't been the same. So Raheem Morris could not make that hire because he would have relinquished his seat as the smartest man in the room.
Now, let me come back on that one. Dan Quinn got fired and blew the Super Bowl because his ego was so big when Shanahan told him that his offense gets tired of bailing his defense out. And the ego for Dan Quinn got so big that he allowed Matt LaFleur, Mike McDaniels walk out of the door while they were still under contract. Now, my point is, if Raheem Morris is going to continue to still have an ego about trying to win because he's no longer the smartest man in the room, then he need to look in the mirror and he need to fix that. He might need to. I have a number for him if he wants to go to therapy. Because that's what that will require to go to therapy if he's going to have an ego. Because, I mean, the head coach is not the smartest man in the room. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
I mean, Phil Jackson would tell you that.
Tex Winters. I'm sorry, I done took him off stage. Go ahead. Go say that again. Oh.
Tex Winter is the reason why Chicago and the Lakers got championship rings. So, I mean, all that smartest man in the room, sometimes you got to let your ego go.
No doubt about it.
And Rev, I would suggest to you, reach out to Raheem Morris and invite him to one of your prayer sessions, and let's get that going on. And maybe he'll relinquish some of that ego, because the ego, I'm telling you, the ego is tough to get rid of. But if you're a head coach, I mean, have confidence, but let your ego go.
Let your ego go.
No, but you're right, Horace. If you look at a lot of championship teams over the years, a lot of the head coaches weren't they were far from the smartest guys in the room. Detroit, if they had won Dan Campbell, nobody would have accused Dan Campbell of being smarter than Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn. Andy Reid has had lots of assistant coaches that have probably been smarter than him. Dick Vermeil, when he won the greatest show on turf, I don't think he knew more offense than Mike Martz. Like I say, it's been so many coaches who their assistants have been smarter than them. So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If Raheem think he's the smartest guy in the room, I don't even know if one of your sessions gonna help him, man. He needed a serious therapist, man, because his seat is already hot. We talked about Ryan Dayrell. Well, guess what? Raheem's going into the season with his seat hot. We are looking at the first. That's how hot his seat gonna be. If the Falcons' first 5-6 games, anything go wrong with them on the defensive wise, because we know the offense is gonna be okay. Anything go wrong defensive wise, like say we giving up 30, 40 points a game, Raheem, I don't even think he gonna make it to the bye week, real. So, like I say, Raheem, your seat is flaming hot starting the season.
You done brought the light out. Jerome K said, "Who's the Falcons chaplain?" The VP said,
"You might need to apply for that job."
VP said Morris has failed the number one trait of being a leader. Hire or surround yourself with smarter people so that you can get the most out of everyone. Ninja continues to fumble the bag. No doubt.
I agree.
No doubt.
I totally agree. You'd rather be the smartest man in the room and lose, or not be the smartest man in the room and look smart because you hired the right people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's real simple. I mean, it's super, super simple. I mean, I've come to this conclusion that whatever makes sense, the Falcons will do the opposite.
Well, we know Raheem will do the opposite. You got that right. I don't think Mike Smith would have did this. I think Mike Smith would have hired the best guy available. I think Dan Quinn, well, I don't know about that. But I think Mike Smith would have hired the best guy available.
Hey, you see how Dan Quinn the second time around has allowed his ego to not interfere with his offense, right?
Well, yeah, you're right. This time around, you're right. He learned his lesson.
This time around,
right.
he's
learned his lesson.
He got out of the Cliff Kingsbury way and allow him to do his thing and not fight with all that. Let me concentrate on the defense, making sure that y'all get the ball and we stop people on third down.
Right.
That's possibly figure that out.
Queen and Green. That's possibly gonna get Green doing that.
All right, we're gonna move on because we've been playing this much Falcons talk.
Real.
This is all coach's fault since he got ghosted. So we had to fill in the blanks.
I'm sorry, Coach. You want to talk about your Steelers for a little bit?
H.O., your ego won't allow you to wear that Duke shirt again, or you won't be back.
All right. The VP said, "I've concluded that Morris wasn't hugged as a child." The president said, "If you're the smartest man in the room, find another room. Otherwise, you'll never learn anything." The VP said, "Morris is like Cartman. He will interrupt the game, take his ball, and go home when things don't go his way."
Yeah, that's exactly how he be looking on the sideline.
All right, gentlemen, it's 5 for 5 time. We got some hot topics, baseball and football in particular. Mr. VP, I'm waiting for you. Since it's 5 for 5 time, I'm waiting for you, sir. And I think we got, there we go. Cue the Lunas. And that's what we would do since the VP said do it. And it's been queued. We got 5 for 5 topics. We're going to start with the Atlanta Braves, gentlemen. The Atlanta Braves finally make a move. They signed outfielder Jurickson Profar, who played for the San Diego Padres. Are you excited? Does that bode well for the championship contenders called the Atlanta Braves? What says you? We'll start with our guest. Hope, what you got?
Oh, it's about time. I think listen to the show from last week because boy, I think he was my let's deal with it or he was on the show because he hadn't made any moves yet. We have to wait on that. So yeah, I like this move. At least he did something. Profar is a switch hitting outfielder, former #1 player in America. Started out as a shortstop, but due to shoulder injury, he had to go out to the outfield. So I do like this move. I like it a little better now that he's hitting 280. Much more of a contact hitter. So yeah, I do like this move, and I'm waiting on the other two moves to be made. So yeah, this is a good start.
What says you, Red?
Yeah, I'm with Horace. Finally, I mean, they say it's better late than never. Well, it was almost never. You sure are definitely late to the party. I'm surprised a player like this was still available. But yeah, nice addition to our offense, especially if he stays healthy. Now I understand he's been a little inconsistent throughout his career, but you coming to the Braves, and you know our coaches and our hitting coaches are some of the best anyway. So whatever you did to improve your game with the Padres, I'm sure Kevin Sykes will help you improve it. Whatever hitting coaches we got help you improve that. I think Sykes got fired. We got a new hitting coach. Well, the new hitting coach because I believe in our offense and adding, like the host said, adding a switch hitter in the middle of that staff, right up under Acuna and protecting Riley and Olsen, the offense we have. He just coming from the San Diego Padres offense to our offense. Good move, Alex.
Coach.
If all those guys can stay healthy, it's going to be 2 words for the Atlanta Braves moving forward. Wakanda forever.
All right, we got a little bit extra time. Do they still need to upgrade the shortstop position? Or are you okay with Arcia being your starting shortstop for the next season? 30 seconds, hold. You go first. What?
Bo Bichette is the guy that I'm looking for them to trade. I'm not trusting Arcia right now. I would rather go and get a younger guy who can play defense and can hit the ball. So I'm not satisfied. I want Bo Bichette.
Red, jump in there. 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm with Horace. I mean, we definitely could use an upgrade. Now I'm okay if they bring him back because we got all this protection in front of him, and he'll be in the 9 spot anyway. So I'm okay. But yes, we could definitely use an upgrade. Bo Bichette or maybe a young kid from the minor leagues.
Coach, you okay with Arcia come back starting at shortstop?
No, they don't need help at shortstop. They need a telethon. You better get somebody else in there to take Arcia because Arcia is not going. I don't think his hitting is going to carry through the season, and his defense is okay, but you're going to need somebody else.
All right, Alexis Hill says it seems like a decent move by the Braves. He will add some offense to the lineup. They need to add a veteran pitcher.
You have one.
Fair. On to next. There's a new Hall of Fame class in 2025. You got outfielder sensation, both in Japan and in the major leagues, Ichiro Suzuki, CC Sabathia, the pitcher, and Billy Wagner, one of the best closers ever to do it. Red, what says you about the draft class? And is there anybody missing? Go.
Well, yeah, there's definitely somebody missing. I thought Rev, you had an oversight. I was waiting for one more name. I was like, am I going to hear it? Am I going to hear it? No, you didn't say Andrew Jones. So, yes, that's the name who's missing. Man, I don't know what is going on here. What does it take for Andrew Jones to get elected? Each year he gets a little closer. Well, look, we're not using Air's deodorant here. A little bit closer, okay? So sorry. I mean, this guy should have already been elected. I mean, CC Sabathia? How CC Sabathia get in before Andrew Jones? And then on the first ballot, CC Sabathia? Really? Man, I mean, I thought he was good, but man, I ain't put CC up in the Greg Maddux or Smokes or Glavine categories. Not surprised about Suzuki. Wagner, okay, he was pretty solid. He got over 400 saves, so I can see that. But CC, I'm very shocked CC got in first ballot and Andrew's still waiting to get in. So that's my thoughts on that.
Coach.
Ichiro made a statement. All of them deserve to be in. Ichiro made a statement that he wants to sit down and have dinner with the one guy who didn't vote him in. if I was that guy, I wouldn't take Ichiro up on that offer because that could be some old Harry Carey type stuff. Ichiro may want to slice him up with one of those blades. I wouldn't take that off. You didn't vote on it. You're the only one. All deserving. Andrew Jones. See you next year.
Horse.
Congratulations to the Hall of Fame class. I love Ichiro, Billy Watt, and the Farmer Braves. Yes, sir. But the problem is, like Red said, Andrew Jones is still not in. This is the guy who saved 235 runs defensively in his career. He's the reason why the stat even exists. And he's taking this long to get in the Hall of Fame. He's a 10-time Gold Glove winner. And we're still fighting, trying to get this man in the Hall of Fame. Now, if you're going to diss Dale Murphy from being in the Hall of Fame, then Andrew Jones should have been the shoe-in. I'm sorry. I mean, that's just the way I feel about this. This is absolutely ridiculous.
All right. The president says Andrew will probably make it within the next 2 years. He also says Ichiro becoming one vote short of being unanimous is tragic. Here it is. We'll get one more. Case says they don't know Andrew Jones' age. Something is up in his background. All right. Let me say this. Andrew Jones is being penalized for the same reason why CC Sabathia is being uplifted. What do you mean, Rev? I'm glad you asked. CC Sabathia won a World Series with arguably the most noted franchise in Major League Baseball, and he was the cornerstone pitcher of that franchise when he won the World Series with the New York Yankees in 2009. Andrew Jones had a solid career with the Braves, but bombed miserably with the Dodgers and the Yankees. And I think he's being penalized for not producing when he went to those markets. So if you just had his Braves career, no doubt about it, he's a Hall of Famer. But because when he took the money to go to the Dodgers and flamed out and didn't do much with the Yankees at the end of his career, I think that's why he's getting penalized.
Okay.
Anybody want to retort that?
434. Oh, I'm asking the question for Alexa.
Okay. How many home runs does Andrew Jones have? I guess he's a Hall of Fame based on his defensive prowess. And Host said 434. BP said 434.
I remember him playing with the Dodgers. Yeah, he got real overweight. Yeah, they pretty much dogged him. Yeah, pretty much when he left the Braves, his career kind of just flamed out altogether. It's like every stop he made, he just flamed out with the Dodgers big time. Overweight. I mean, ate his way out of LA. Then went to the White Sox. Didn't do too much. Then you're right, with the Yankees a few years. You're right. He didn't really have no memorable seasons with the Braves. That's one great team, but you went to two more big time teams and flamed out. That could, and then you're right, a lot of those voters for the Hall of Fame worked with the Dodgers and the Yankees. So a lot of those voters probably have covered the Dodgers and the Yankees. So they probably remember him with those teams and saying, well, wait a minute, Andrew, you played good with the Braves, but flamed out when you got here with us. So maybe that ain't good. Maybe they're making him wait. Maybe they say,
he was still in his prime. That's affecting him too. When he went to the Dodgers, he was still in his prime. So, but I think he'll get in. But I wanted to just say, when you were talking about CC made it work when he played for that major franchise.
Right.
And won a World Series.
CC played with the Cleveland Indians, and he didn't get them over the top.
Yeah, but when he did it with the Yankees, that's all that mattered.
And I remember that little short stint he had with the Milwaukee Brewers too. That's what he was the MVP of their season. So everywhere CC went, he had a good stint. And everywhere Andrew went, Andrew's good stint was only with the Braves. So
and some will argue during Andrew's time with the Braves, it wasn't really until like the last 2 to 3 seasons when he became the man with the Atlanta Braves. Because most of his time, Chipper Jones was still the key player on the team.
Yeah, offensively, yeah.
All right, let's move on. And I just saw we only had 4 topics, so I had to add another topic. Will the Celtics repeat? We're moving toward the All-Star break. Will the Celtics repeat as NBA champions? Your thoughts, Coach? Go.
No, they're not gonna make it. They got everything in place, but with the emergence of OKC, Cleveland, and several other teams, I think it's gonna be some roadblocks in their way to making it this year. Now they could fool everybody and get it together and turn it around, but I don't think it's gonna happen this year.
Oh,
With them folks calling Jason Tatum soft, I think they have a great chance of repeating. It's gonna be hard with the way OKC is playing in. I don't know what they got in the Doug, Chris, and the Kings. You got them boys playing well too, so it'll be hard to do it. But because they're lighting the fire up under Jason Tatum behind by calling him soft, I think they have a great chance of doing it. But it'll be tough, but it's going to be something to see, I'll tell you that much. As long as they don't run into the Hawks, because they're going to lose against the Hawks, because they seem like the Hawks is their kryptonite for this year.
Red.
Well, it's like the Hawks or the Cavs and the Celtics kryptonite. And then everybody else in the league is the Hawks kryptonite. So
Right.
I agree with that, Horace. Red, to answer your question, absolutely not. No, they're not repeating. Like I said earlier, folks have figured this Celtics team out. If you push them around, stop them from shooting them threes, if they're not hitting their three-point shots, they're not going to win. You understand? So you push them around, get tough with them, play physical with them. Rev, I don't see them coming out the East. I see a lot of up-and-coming good teams in the East that by the time the playoffs start, will have figured the Celtics out. And when the playoffs begin, I think there's a good chance they'll be eliminated before the Eastern Conference Finals. I think Cleveland are a good team. I think the Hawks are a good team. I see Detroit up and coming now with the emergence of Cade Cunningham. Indy all of a sudden making a run now. Milwaukee, the Knicks. So one of these teams are going to figure the Celtics out and stop them from even getting back to the NBA Finals. So, no, they are not going to repeat. And even if they make it out the East, I don't see them beating OKC or anybody coming out the West, including my Lakers right here. Oh, right here. Wherever they at. Right here. Over here. Right here.
All right. On to the next topic. The Kansas City Chiefs and the refs. Are the Chiefs where they are because of the refs? What says you, Hope? Go.
It helps. It helps. It's hard to play against 11 plus each and every week. You would think that, we'll keep tuning in, this and that, but each and every week, there's one or two calls that keep adding up that you see and say to yourself, wow, this is starting to look a little bit obvious. If you can make it look a little less obvious, then maybe I have a different opinion, but it's looking more and more obvious as they continue to play games. Where there's smoke, there has to be fire. So I'm not taking anything away from Mr. Mahomes, but and plus I just left my barber. He's a Kansas City fan, so I can't say too much about that. So I'm gonna say, let's wait and see.
Red, jump in there.
Have there been questionable calls? Yeah. But you know me, I'm not one for excuse making. I'm not one to sit back and blame the refs every time a team get beat. There have been some questionable calls. Yeah, Kansas City are the best team right now. So, like Brady and the Patriots, it's going to look like every time they get a call that goes Kansas City way, it's going to look like the refs are cheating for the Chiefs, just like the refs were cheating for the Patriots. But no, for a lot of these teams, you still face the Chiefs and you still choke it up when the big moments come. Josh Allen, you had your chance to beat the Chiefs. Some of these other teams as well. Now tell me this, Real. Why, if it's the refs, where were the refs at when Cincinnati beat the Chiefs? Were the refs take that year off? Did they go on vacation that year? Or were they just on Cincinnati side that year and say, oh, okay, y'all, Cincinnati paid us more money, so we're not gonna we're not gonna cheat for the Chiefs this year. No, man, look. These teams are just not making the plays or just not having the performances in the end, in the clutch moments when it's time to beat the Chiefs. And that's the truth.
Coach, jump in there.
Until I see a ref block a field goal, intercept a pass, or tackle a player, the conspiracy theory is going to be no. I mean, you can't fault the refs when you don't do your job as a team. So why are you going to just say, oh, it's the refs? The refs not calling you to throw an interception. The refs not stepping in front of a field goal. And, you know, I'm not a Kansas City fan, but enough is enough. I mean, 15-2 is 15-2, and the refs hadn't played a part in all those 15 wins. Oh, yeah, so what? If they beat the Bills, you're going to try. What's the first thing you're going to look for? Did they outscore them? Or the first thing you're going to look for? If you look for saying, well, if that call was such and such, that means you're just looking for something.
Let's just, matter of fact, before I say anything, let's see what the fans got to say. It's obvious, Jerome Case says, the refs are making calls at critical points to help to extend plays. For the Chiefs, VP says, for the teams complaining, be consistently good like the Chiefs until then, hush your mouth. The VP said MJ got calls because he's great. Kevin Willis was not getting a call over MJ as he reaches those, trying to restore his arms, trying to defend the goal. And that, here's the point. Tom Brady's legend started because of a terrible call against the Oakland Raiders in the AFC Championship game, where they called some little phantom call. He was sacked, but then they said he wasn't sacked. And then that's when they won that Super Bowl that year. When he beat Mahomes in the AFC Championship game, he got that phantom roughing the passer call that allowed them to beat the Chiefs, which allowed the Patriots to go back to the Super Bowl that year. So the bottom line is you can't ref your way to 15-1. That's the point I'm making. The bottom line is when you have a chance to beat the team you got to beat. And the reality is when you ascend to a certain level, certain calls are going to go your way. Anybody who is a Michael Jordan fan, you shouldn't be talking about calls. That should be the last thing you should be saying. If you are a Michael Jordan fan, don't say anything about calls, because Michael Jordan defended people in ways that people could not defend him. He could clothesline somebody. Great defensive play. But if you put your finger on his shooting wrist, he was going to the free throw line. If you watch any of the games back in the day when the Chicago Bulls were down, all Michael Jordan would start doing is going straight to the lane. Boom, 2 shots. Boom, 2 shots. So if you're a Michael Jordan fan, don't you say nothing about calls that the Chiefs will get. Alexis Hill said the Bills will certainly have to beat the refs too, especially if it's close in the fourth. Here we go with this crap. Vegas is winning. How are they winning if the Chiefs are normally favored? Yes, MJ got the call just like Casey. All right, on to the next. Last one. Lamar and the Lions lose again. Matter of fact, let me frame it this way. Which is more egregious? The Lions losing or Lamar and the Ravens losing? Red, you go.
Man, Rev, you asking me to pick between Mark Andrews goofing it up in the end zone and Jared Goff just being a goof. I mean, I'm gonna say Jared Goff is the worst, Rev, because I think Lamar and I think Ravens, Lamar and Andrew, they'll have a chance to get over this. They'll have a chance to come back and rebound. It's getting tight now. I mean, it's getting to the point where it's gonna be one season. They're gonna have to do it all, but I think they still can. Jared Goff and the Lions, man, I don't know what's going on over there, man. I mean, this dude can be good all year long, and then when the playoffs come, he's the second coming of Matt Ryan. So, I mean, like I say, Lamar Jackson, I think is an elite quarterback. Jared Goff, to me, is an elite situation. I don't think he's an elite quarterback. That's the reason the Rams got rid of him, and that's the reason the Lions are finding out exactly why the Rams got rid of him. So, personally, I go with the Lions' loss as probably the worst because they had the number one seed, all the momentum, the NFL just ready to get them their flowers, and they goof it up. Thanks a lot, Jared Goof.
Coach.
I'm gonna go with Lamar Jackson because, you know, it's not his fault, but when you get that close and you don't win, this is a repeat thing going on every year. Pretty much, you always getting close, like horseshoes. But like I said, go back to that. I don't blame Mark Andrews or Lamar Jackson all the way. I still go back to that part of the game when they went for two in the third quarter. Why are you going for two? All you need to do is kick the extra point. Now you're down by one, and you wouldn't have to go for two late in the game. You would have kicked that extra point, and now you go into overtime. Now you got a chance to win. So I'm going to go with the Ravens.
Not surprised. Go ahead.
In a sport where we claim that it's a team sport, I'm not blaming any one individual for the losses, but in answering this question, I would choose the team that had less losses, and that was the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions got there last year, and they was expected to get there this year. They were the number one seed for a reason, and you wet the bed. So I can say Jared Goff, but I would say that it was the Lions team. The difference is that Jared Goff and the Lions and the Baltimore Ravens, other guys didn't step up. You saw Washington Commanders, other guys step up. That's why they're there. You saw Philadelphia, other guys, especially on the defense, step up. That's why they're there. So while we talking about the quarterback position and who's to blame, I would blame the Detroit Lions for this one.
All right, the VP said the Bills better beat Mahomes, period. Refs, the least of your worries. The VP says Jared Goff reared his ugly head. I knew that he couldn't cut the mustard at QB when they only put up 3 points against the Pats in that Super Bowl. Dude has been having the career of his life, making tons of money just for being mediocre. He got outdueled by a rook. Checkmate. He's making reservations for Punta Cana. Jerome Case said the Ravens' red zone play calling was off on the first half of the game. I don't understand why they went for second and third.
For 2 in the third.
2 in the third. Okay, thank you. Hall of Fame golf was terrible. I think he deserves 80% of the blame. VP said at this point, it's in Lamar's head. That one fumble was a part of his lack of growth. Live to see another down. You're doing too much. He's made a career of doing the impossible. He's been successful at it, but you have to learn how to take care of the football. Josh Allen was involved in the play at the goal line, wrapped up. He was about to pitch the ball. The running back potentially putting the ball in harm's way, but he didn't. Lamar has to grow from within, or else he will continue. That's a good assessment. I like that. And they actually were pointing that out this week in various news outlets to see how Josh Allen has grown, not to make those stupid plays like he did in the past. And Lamar hasn't got there. The VP said Lamar's OC has also contributed to his goal. King Henry needs to rock in the red zone. WTA.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much. Let's go right into these NFL picks. Coach is officially the winner of the NFL picks. So we congratulate Coach for winning a non-COVID championship. For Coach being our 2025
Excellent.
champion.
Absolutely excellent. Awesome.
He trying to act like he ain't paying attention.
Really? Yeah, like he's just so cool back there, man. Come on, you know you happy about this
Why
championship.
y'all bothering me? It's over. I won. Yay.
Look at him, real. That is like
trying to
no
get
big deal. Yeah, I won, man. This ain't nothing. I can beat y'all with my eyes closed.
Red, I'm not about to have a ticker tape parade like you. I'm not gonna do that.
Oh, I know
All
you
right.
ain't. You gonna be eating me. You gonna be eating me out of house and a home. That's gonna be your parade right there.
He's stupid. All right, so Red
Congratulations, Coach.
Red officially clinched Longhorns duty.
Yeah.
So Red finished in the rear.
Hey, ho, you see Rev making frequent trips to Georgia now, all of a sudden.
Yeah, Red. So Red will be taking care of Longhorns duty, relieving Armani from doing it the past 2 years. So
Man, I gotta sit on some money. I will send it to him now.
So I'll let you know. I'll be back in February. So if you want to wait till February,
I will come on with us too.
so we look forward to eating well off Red's dime. All right, Jerome Casey.
Hey, Rev, bring up the record one more time. Bring up the standings one more time.
Let me do this one more comment and then I'll bring it up. The VPQs, Queens, we are the champions. For Coach Patrick Steel Curtin, sympathizer, non-COVID, Mississippi Muskrat Thomas.
Good God Almighty.
Oh, that sounds like a
all right, there you go, Red.
I still don't know where these 7 weeks come from that I won, because I can't remember 1 week that I won the picks.
They were probably early on.
They had to be. Lord, they had to be.
Yeah. You get in those moods where you just want to be anti-pick with everybody. So you want.
And I ain't Rev, I ain't gonna lie. Pittsburgh cost me a lot of picks too, man.
Well, Pittsburgh cost me a potential win because they were winning all during the beginning of the season. I was picking against them, and then when I picked them, they would lose.
Sure.
So I can't fall in love with them like Coach has. All right, Red is the epitome of definition of insanity. Laugh out loud. Sister Harris said, "Congratulations, Coach."
Shut up, bitch.
All right, with that being said, we got 2 games to pick. We got an AFC championship game. And of course, we got the NFC championship game. So the first one on the docket on tomorrow is the NFC championship game. So let's talk about it first before we pick it. What are some things that you're looking out for in this game that will ultimately determine which team wins the game? I'll start with you, Coach.
If Saquon Barkley rushes for over 150 yards, it's over. It's a done deal. If he gets loose, that takes the pressure off Jalen Hurts and that half an ankle he got. He doesn't have to do as much. You know, I know AJ Brown wants that ball, but I'm sure he wants to win more to get to the Super Bowl. So the defense has to make, if they can tell tell Daniels, run if you want, we're gonna pop your little thin, but every time you come out of that backfield, then the Eagles got it. But if Scary Terry and Daniels get loose, then I don't know if it, I mean, the running game for Washington is very underrated. People talk about it, but you don't see much about it. They come through every now and then, but I think Daniels is the key to the entire game, as he's shown the last few weeks.
All right, we'll come back around and get your prediction. What are the key things for the Eagles to do to win? What are the key things that the Commanders need to do to win, Red?
Well, the key thing the Eagles need to do to win is keep the game from landing in Jalen Hurts' hands. If it's landing in his hands, you can forget it, because the better quarterback plays for the Commanders. And the way the Washington's defensive coach is talking, man, it don't look like they worried about Jalen Hurts at all. Well, he was talking stuff at that press conference this week. I think his name Joe Witt Jr. He pretty much said, if Barkley don't do anything, if Jalen Hurts try to run or try to win this game, it is over for him. So I don't think Washington worried about Jalen Hurts. And honestly, I don't blame him, because Barkley is the key to this Eagles offense. The Eagles, you got championship defense. You got a championship running game. That's about it. You don't have a championship coach, and you don't have a championship quarterback. Even though he was in the championship a few years ago, his play has tremendously regressed. So I'm with Washington. Best way to beat the Eagles is take Saquon out the game and put the game in Hurts' hands. And for Washington to win, as long as Jalen Daniels on that field, well, that's the key for them winning. So as long as he plays.
All right, Hope. What you got on the keys to victory for both teams?
The keys to victory is who can get off the field on third down. Who can get off the field on third downs, I think, will be the key to the game, because the third down conversion is going to mean that you're moving the ball, and you're moving the ball in critical situations. And I think with Hurts, ankle being maybe 50%, that takes away the ability for him to probably run to get a first down or to use his leg. So getting off the field on third down with limited ability will definitely be more highlighted for the Eagles than it will be for the Commanders. But I think we got to pay attention to getting off the field on third downs, and that's gonna be the telltale sign on who will have the ball the most. And I think that's who will prevail.
All right, let's go back around the horn. So with what you all said, who wins this game? Coach?
Eagles 28-21.
Red?
Washington. Man, please, the way that defensive coach is pumped up and the way confident he feeling, man, Washington defense worried at all about Jalen Hurts. And we know the offense is going to show up because Jalen Daniels is going to play. So if Washington defense is pumped up, put like this, Real, if Washington defense show up, Commanders going to win this game easily. And I think they are going to show up. Commanders win 38-20.
38-20. Wow.
38.
They're 18 points better than the Eagles?
Have y'all seen this Washington team play when they get on the road? This team can put points on the board. They just went up to Detroit and put up 44 points. What's going to Philadelphia and putting up 38? Especially if Jalen Hurts probably turned the ball over a couple of times. There might be a few pick sixes up, and I'm just saying, I see Washington running away with it once they get hot. So the Eagles, you better start early, because once Jalen takes the game over, it's gonna be hard. If you think, put like this, Rev, Washington can come back from a deficit. I don't think the Eagles and Jalen Hurts can come back from a deficit.
Now, let me ask you this, Red. You mentioned how they scored that many points playing against the Lions. Remember, that was inside. Tomorrow's game is going to be outside 38 degrees. Do you think they can push the ball up and down the field and score 38 points in 39-degree temperature?
Real. Washington plays outside in the stadium, too. Remember, they don't play in no dome stadium yet.
All right. Big Ho, what's your prediction?
I think that, we all forgetting that Kenny Pickett was the quarterback for the Eagles last time they played the Commanders.
Yeah.
So, I'm going with the home team. I'm going Eagles 27-21. And going.
Jalen Hurts been playing like Kenny Pickett lately. So.
All right. So BP said Eagles, Blitz, and Daniels ain't gonna be it. They will have to play a disciplined scheme against Jaden, force him to make mistakes that he normally does not make. Jerome K says the Eagles need to pull a solid pop on Daniels to make him question running the ball. If VP says if this game is a shootout, then I'll give the edge to the Cobra Commanders. If this game becomes a run game, conservative pace, Eagles may have this. Cobra Commanders are playing with house money. Alexis Hill said Eagles win by 3. The VP says Distro beats G.I. Joe 27-21. Jerome K said I agree with Ho and Philly. Whoever has the most first downs will win the game. Eagles 21-17 Commanders. The president says Cobra Commanders for the win. Yo, Joe.
That's right, Thomas. Wait a minute, Thomas. Do you smell it? You didn't say you smell it. I don't know if I can trust that one, real.
I'm going to say Eagles win this one 23-20. Home field advantage will take over, and I think they're going to concentrate on running the ball to take more possessions away from Jaden Daniels. So the Eagles, in order to win it, the way I said they'll win it, is that they're going to have to get out in front. If they play from behind, it's the Commanders' game to win. But if the Eagles can control clock, control the ball, I give it to the Eagles. The president opens up a bag of raw fish. He says he smelled it with 2 exclamation points, Fred.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. And everybody, Real's take was just him saving his collection plate this week. I don't know if he really believes in the Eagles like he said he does, y'all. We'll see.
So you and the VP are in cahoots. He says, Reverend Doctor speaking from the perspective of his pastor congregation, that pastor anniversary must be coming up.
I thought you get that. That's why Rev don't usually talk about the Eagles this positive, but it got to be something coming up.
All right, listen, y'all know, if we're honest, on this panel, I'm probably the most objective person on the panel. If we're honest, of those who are regulars on the show. All right, Amani's probably second. Red, you definitely third. We know Coach is the least subjective when it comes to certain teams. All right. And I believe in this game, experience matters. Jalen Hurts has been in this game before. Yes, Dan Quinn has been in this game. Sirianni's been in this game with the current team that he plays for. Jaden Daniels hasn't been in this game. Would I be surprised if he wins it? Not at all, because he's just different. But I do believe experience will matter when it comes to this game as well. The VP says, push presidential upset special here. We need this segment on the Red and Red Sports Show. Catch your votes. Coming in the fall. It's coming in the fall. No doubt about it. All right, let's get on to this AFC championship game.
Man, I thought we had already talked about it. It felt like we had already talked about that one.
Well, we did. Y'all talked about it a little bit with the refs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
AFC championship, Bills versus Chiefs. I'm gonna start in the reverse order. What are the keys to victory for both teams?
Who's refereeing the game? No, I'm joking. No.
Hey, you might be right. Yo.
No, this is gonna come down to turnovers and field goals. Turnovers and field goals. Missing field goals and turning the ball over, I think, is going to determine this game. I'm not sure if the Bills trust the fact that they have to almost play a perfect game. Will Josh Allen try to do too much in this game to try to prove himself because his numbers were down last week in the victory? Will he try to do too much, as he's known to do, and then turn the ball over? So I think the turnovers and field goals are going to be the key to the game.
What do the Chiefs have to do to win the game?
They show up.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Just show up, to be honest with you, and just do what they've been doing.
All right, Red.
And don't turn the ball over.
Red, you jump in there. Keys to victory for both teams.
All right, well, yeah, I gotta agree with Hard. The Chiefs' keys, they victory. Yeah, just show up, don't make no mistakes, and you got them. Because I mean, if you don't make no mistakes, that means you pretty much the Bills defense didn't do anything. The key for the Bills to win, well, your defense gonna have to show up. You're gonna have to cost the Chiefs to make some mistakes. You're gonna have to get some turnovers, and like Ho said, Josh Allen, you can't think too long. You really just got to play your game, Josh. Just play your regular game. Don't think that you got to do more than you've been doing all year long. That's your problem. When the playoffs come, you put too much on your shoulders. And Patrick, he don't put that much pressure on his shoulders as you put on your shoulders. And that's why sometimes it get tight up there, because pressure busts pipes, and your pipes been busting when you've been playing the Chiefs, Josh. So just play your regular game. Don't feel like you got to do too much. Treat it just like a regular season game, Josh. If Josh treated like a regular season game, Bills got to change. If he go in there thinking he got to put the entire team on his back, it's me. I got to carry us to where we got to go. If he going to mess up, make some mistakes, going to be running with the ball, fumbling, interceptions, and if that happens, you can forget it. Because the Chiefs get extra possessions in addition to the ones they already gonna get. Fold up shop. They going back to the Super Bowl. So like I say, like Hard said, it's gonna come down to what team make the least amount of mistakes. And if Josh can just treat this like a regular season game instead of a playoff game that he's been choking in his whole career.
Coach,
What was the word you used, Red, when you were talking about Bryant, about Raheem Morris?
smartest man in the
And what was the word you said that's going to slow him down? Ego.
ego. Yeah.
If Josh Allen takes away and puts his ego before the team, they're in trouble. Two names you got to look for both sides. For the Bills, James Cook. Does Cook get loose and help them play ball control all game, and they win? For the Chiefs, Xavier Worthy. Worthy returns punts, and he also catches. Why? Because you know they're going to double down on Travis Kelce. You know they're going to be all over him, so Xavier Worthy is going to have to step up and play some good ball in order for the Chiefs to win. And then, you know, like H.O. said, Mahomes comes on the field, it's almost a guarantee. And Buffalo has shown in past that they can't win the big one. Look at their history.
Now,
Here's some comments. Hold on right quick, Brad.
Oh, sorry.
The VP said Bills will not be able to force the Chiefs to make enough costly mistakes. Josh Allen will not get over the hump tomorrow. Chiefs for the dub as they aspire to complete their three-peat. He also says if Andy Reid's mustache has frozen snot circles, then that Waffle House menu will continue to dial up creative plays. McDermott will get out coached. He says Bills forced the Chiefs to make mistakes, and Josh Allen exercised the same discipline that you exhibited last week against B-More. Ron K says, I want KC to win for the culture so we can see two black QBs in the Super Bowl, but I'd be happy if the Bills win so I could watch Nick Wright cry on FS1. BP says Spagnuolo will have to call the game of his life. Josh Allen is a game changer when he leaves that pocket, but the Bills in 3rd and long. Chiefs has a chance to finish them off. Hail to the Chiefs. He also says Coach Scott Norwood has just entered the chat. All right, Red, go ahead on. What were you about to say?
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, Coach, and well, I know Rev ain't forgot about him, but Coach, don't forget about your boy D-Hop just waiting in the wings. You know he ready to make a few plays in the playoffs. He trying to get a ring, too. Everybody forget about D-Hop is still on the Chiefs now, and he ain't done that now. Don't let this be the game that all of a sudden D-Hop can show up and be like, where'd that come from? Well, y'all forgot he on the team? So they still got Kelsey, they still got Worthy, but you still got your boy D-Hop you got to worry about. And I hope Buffalo don't forget that.
All right, the president says not only the Chiefs will win, Travis will become Mr. Swift.
Oh, they're going to get married. They're going to get married before the Super Bowl?
So let me throw this out there for you all before we make our picks. If you look at the Bills' regular season, on the road, they went 1-3 against playoff teams. They got blown out by the Ravens. They lost to the Houston Texans. They lost to the Rams. And they won a wire-to-wire game against a defensively depleted Detroit Lions team. So that's something to think about when you make these picks. Because remember, in the playoffs, experience matters. There are no real experienced wide receivers. Stephon Diggs is no longer on that team. So it's Josh Allen and a bunch of guys who don't really have a whole lot of playoff experience versus two-time Super Bowl champions, well, 3 for some, who won the Super Bowl plus a home game at Arrowhead Stadium. So it's just something for y'all to think about. The VP said no one deserves a Super Bowl ring more than Diop out of those remaining in the playoffs. Alexis Hill says Bills 24-21. So, Red, we'll start with you with the prediction. Who wins this game and why?
Well, Rev, I think you forgot about one player that he's been kind of quiet too, but he was bumping his gums this week talking about how happy he is to be in this position, and that's Amari Cooper with the Buffalo Bills. Remember, the Bills traded for him earlier this season, so they got him over there. And I think that might make a difference, Real, with Amari Cooper.
Hold on a second. Before you go on, Red, excuse me, cutting you off. That's the same Amari Cooper who had no catches last week?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying he's got. That's just like D-Hop has been quiet. All these receivers that's being quiet, that's what it takes, right? That's what I say. In the playoffs, it don't take but one game to show up. They can show up. Amari Cooper can be quiet. He could have been quiet the last 2 weeks, and all of a sudden tomorrow show up for 5-6 catches, 100 and some yards, and y'all look and be like, where did that come from? Well, he been with the team for the last few weeks. So, like I say, the Bills are going to have to play flawless football. They ain't going to be able to make no mistakes. The offense is going to have to show up, and I think it will. I think, look, eventually, Josh Allen, you're going to have to get over this hump, man. Now, they took away Diggs, who was bumping his gums and drove you crazy, for a much quieter playmaker in Amari Cooper. Now, you're going to have to use him this game. You're going to need him this game. You're going to need him. You're going to need the other receiver on the other side. I don't know his name. Don't need to know his name. You're going to need James Cook. You're going to need to use all your playmakers, Josh Allen, because you better believe Pat Mahomes is going to use all of his. So that's how you get over the hump. Use all the weapons you got. McDermott, you better have a great defensive plan. Josh Allen, don't go out there thinking you got to do it all, man. Use your weapons. That's why they got them. Don't make the game harder than it have to be, Josh. And if you do that, you'll finally get over this hump and win. And I think you will, because like Red said earlier, it ain't going to be no 3-peat. And I ain't cheering for no 3-peat. So Buffalo, you got to win this game. You got to stop the Chiefs before they even get to the Super Bowl, before it even a threat of a 3-peat. Let's go, Buffalo. Finally, Rev is saying the Bills are going to get over that hump. It is time for the Bills to be back in the Super Bowl. It has been too long that we ain't seen Buffalo Bills on Super Bowl Sunday. I am tired of seeing Patrick Mahomes. I'm tired of Brittany, and I'm getting tired of Taylor and Travis too. So we need some new blood on Super Bowl Sunday, and Josh Allen is going to give it to us. Not new blood, Rev, blue blood.
All right. Well, I was trying to process that stuff, but go ahead, Coach. Who wins the game?
Rev, I'm having you one of my old statements. Is Patrick Mahomes playing?
Yes, sir.
That's ball game.
It's just that simple. Tell us why it's that simple, Coach.
He throws left-handed, underhanded, sidearm, right-handed, behind his back. I mean, what more you need him to do? Pull a rabbit out of a hat? I don't know. If they can get a lick on him early and get him out the game, and you can't let him back in the game. So I just don't see nobody beating it. Buffalo win, yay for everybody. But Mahomes on the field, he just makes things happen. Simple.
Big Hope.
Isn't Isaiah Pacheco playing? He's
Yeah.
back. Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco. The run game is going to be very, very important and probably overlooked in this game. And I see Kansas City using the run game to extend plays and to move the chain to keep Patrick Mahomes upright and safe so he won't have to do too much. And I think that with Taylor Swift being there and me getting a free haircut if Kansas City win, then I'm going with Kansas City.
Y'all know I got to go with Kansas City. Mahomes is that dude. He's salivating over the fact of being able to do something that nobody else in NFL history has done, and that is the 3-peat. Matter of fact, when they talked about Andy Reid accomplishing some record, and Mahomes said, I think Andy would be more appreciative if there are 2 more wins added to that victory feat of Andy Reid. So I think the worst thing that the media did for the Bills was to say the refs made it possible. So I think the Chiefs are going to come out with a chip on their shoulder saying, y'all saying it's the refs? All right, we're going to show you all what the refs can't do. That's going to help us advance to the Super Bowl. So I think all the chatter about the ref is going to backfire against the Bills, plus the lack of experience is going to backfire. And get ready, Red, to prepare to hate on the Chiefs for 2 weeks. Maybe you feel so convicted about a 3-peat won't happen under your watch that you may have to fast and pray that it won't happen for 2 weeks. So I'm looking forward to seeing you at somebody's church for the next at least 2 Sundays to try to pray that the Chiefs don't 3-peat.
Hey, Ray, how can you beat a coach who sits there and calls plays that nobody ever heard of? Like Andy Reid looks at that play sheet and says, Texas cheesesteak on 3, all-star special, or hey, run that 2-egg grits mint special. You know, I believe that is a Waffle House menu. I'm serious.
All right. The VP said Chiefs, no one can stop the monster Chris Jones. Jerome K said KC by 1 at the end of the game. That's all the rest need to happen. Then the president says, Bills stand for boy. I love losing Super Bowls. All right.
Wow.
As we come to the close, who has the right to do what, when, where, and how. Red, you want at it first?
Yeah, I go first. Hawks, what in the world are y'all doing? Ever since you beat Boston, y'all done forgot how to play some basketball. Quinn Snyder, take Big O out the starting lineup and put Clint back in there. I don't know what you were doing, man. Let Big O come off the bench with D Hunter and the rest of the guys. Quinn Snyder, stop messing with the lineup, man. And you better beat Toronto right. You got the right to end this 3-game losing streak and beat the Raptors tonight. You better not lose to the Raptors back-to-back at home, man. Or Quinn Snyder, all the praise I giving you, I might have to get on your butt a little bit, man, because these last 3 games have not been what I have been watching this season as Hawks like. So stop messing with the lineup. Bogey, you need to start making some shots. Hawks, you got the right to figure this thing out and let's get back on the winning streak, because I've been enjoying watching y'all, but I ain't enjoyed these last games after we beat the Celtics last week. So you got the right to figure this thing out and get your stuff together, and let's get back on this winning streak. Now, we don't fail down to 7th right now. I don't want to fall too far down. I want to stay within the top 6 teams, because honestly, I don't want no Hawks playing this year. So, Hawks, you got the right to figure it out, and it starts tonight with a win against Toronto. Done.
Coach, who has the right to do what, when, where, how?
Angel Reese, you have the right to use Unrivaled as a forum to show that you have actually been working on your mid-range game and your post game, because the highlights I saw showing right so far that you hadn't. You look like a stat pattern with those rebounds off those terrible missed shots that you're putting up in the mid-range game. Angel, this is your chance now. You're supposed to be moving into another level with your game. So you got the right to show everybody that you can be on that next level.
Big Hole, who has the right to do what, when, where, how?
Atlanta Braves, AA, you have the right to go out and continue to make this Brave team better than ever. You did. Schnick did a great job with all the injuries last year, but this year is a whole different story. You saw the Dodgers win the World Series. They went out and even gotten better. So now you have an uphill battle. One of your best players goes to the Mets. So come on. AA, this is your opportunity to get this team to where we need to be. The Braves are the only local team that we actually trust. Don't blow that trust by doing anything and by not doing nothing. And if you need some help, Bo Bichette and Max Scherzer. Trade for one, sign the other, and we back in the game. Let's go Braves.
Now watch, Horace. I bet the Braves, we take AJ Minter. I bet we take him deep a few times this year, going over to our rival. Now we're going to hit some home runs off of you.
Yeah.
All right, Chiefs. You have the right to keep Red in his misery. That's all I'm going to say. 3-peat loaded. Y'all know what to do. All right. The VB said, Cobra Commanders, you have the right to further infuriate Dan Snyder by progressing to the Super Bowl with the rookie QB. Yo, Joe, the Red and Right Sports Show. From the president, you have the right to expand your sports palette. NASCAR starts in February. Some of us like watching cars around in a circle. Much like some of Red's rants, either way, it's entertaining. You might want to go to church too, Thomas, and pray for that one. Jerome Case, refs, you have the right to do the right thing. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. All right.
Gotta stop playing the refs, Jerome.
Well, we want to thank everybody for watching episode 361 of the Red and Red Sports Show. We hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed, share this episode with somebody. Invite somebody to tune in. Go like our Facebook page. Go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to it. The BP said, great show, fellas. Have a great weekend. BP says, Spike Lee just into the chat. President said, I guess bull riding gets no love either. Thank you, Big Ho, for joining us second half of the Red and Red Sports Show. We appreciate you.
Yes,
Check out the
sir.
Sports Roundtable on Wednesdays at 7 o'clock
It's
on the
that-
Sports
sir.
Roundtable channel, where Big Ho is the host. And with that
Yeah.
being said, everybody enjoy
Remember the Super
the
Bowl.
championship weekend. We look forward to sharing the results on next week's show. Same Facebook page, same YouTube channel. Peace and love, everybody.
For real.
And
Don't
we
stay
are
at no
out.
hotels in Peru.